Hi, welcome to One Swan Stitch Nook and then my desk where the creativity happens. We are going to be going over the bust section for the Cottage Apple cardigan. And so here you see is the little swatch I have here. You're going to need about 4 colors. You can limit it to 3 if you want. And so I'm using the Yarn Bee Yarntopia in ivory, scarlet, sage, and I think this is cognac. And it is a 2-weight yarn. So if you want to substitute that for something else, you could also, I think, make this with about 3-weight yarn as well. And so you can see kind of how the swatch looks there. And you're going to need a 3.5mm hook. I don't think you can make out because it's so nasty there. Anyway, let's get started. All right, we're going to take our cognac color, or whatever you want to be the contrasting color between the bodice and the rest of the body. And you're going to do a multiple chain of 20. I'm sorry it's so long, but it's how many I needed in order to make sure both the apple and the V-stitches lined up. So you're going to do a multiple of 20 plus 4 at the end, making sure that the length goes comfortably around your bust. Now, if you're using the yarn I recommend, do note that it tends to stretch, but more up and down versus side to side. So go ahead and chain your 20s plus 4, and then I'll meet you at the end. All right, so as you can see here, this is the length I went. I went a size up for myself. So that is 20 counts of 20 chains plus 4 at the end. So this is the amount I have. Make sure it's made to measure and sits comfortably around you or who you desire to make it for. And now this row is very simple. We are going to, starting in the second from the hook, so 1, 2, we're going down, we're going to half double crochet into the back loop. So we're going to do all the way along, only in the back loop. So if you're not familiar with that, it's these little bumps on the back of your chains. So we're going to leave the chains like the V's down below so we can work into them later. And you're going to work your half double crochets into the back loops all the way across your chain. So nice and simple, just take your time. It's always the first row that takes the longest. And then I'll see you at the end. All right, now that we come on the last stitch here, we're going to do a color change. So for that final yarn over pull through, I'm going to bring over the green yarn. Okay, so I'm going to finish that half double crochet with the green, chain 1, make sure things are nice and tight, and then I'm going to turn my work. And I forgot, this is also just going to be a regular half double crochet row. I'm going to work over my ends so I secure them in so I don't have as many ends to deal with later to weave in and deal with. So yeah, you're just going to half double crochet your way across here, and that's that. All right, I worked my way towards the end. I had to go back and re-edit this upcoming section. So we're going to chain 4 like so. You're going to turn your work and you're going to triple crochet your way into the next 4 into the next 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And sorry, I'm not going too slow with the stitches because I'm assuming you will either look them up or you are familiar with the stitches. We have half double crochets, double crochets, treble crochets mainly in here. So from here, you're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 3. I'm prepping another treble crochet on my hook as I skip 6. So I chain 6 and now I'm skipping 6. 2, 4, 6, and in the 7th, I'm going to do my treble crochet, and then I'm going to do the treble crochet for a total of 4 stitches. So you're making windows of 6 and then treble crocheting 4, and then you'll have a little extra here with the initial chain. So I'll do that with you one more time. Chain 6. All right, yes. I'm prepping my treble crochet. I'm skipping 6. and into the next 4 stitches I'm going to treble crochet. All right, just continue that all the way down. You should end on your last 4 treble crochets. So here we are at the end. I've done my last 4 treble crochets. I'm going to chain 1, turn my work, and we're going to half double crochet our way across. And the only note is, of course, we have a chain this time, so you'll half double crochet into your 4 stitches and just match the skipped stitches or match the chains. So you're going to half double crochet 6 times into each of your chains. So I got 3, 4, 5, 6, and then half double crochet into your 4 stitches and repeat that all the way across. And don't worry about the missing apples. I just suggest doing that at the end. You can do them as you go if you want. Just there will be a section later for that if you want. But I find it's easier to just get in the groove of the simple part and then add in the apples at the end. So let's keep going. Okay, and on my last stitch, which I'm working into that chain 4, we're going to do a color change. So I'm not going to finish off the half double crochet. I'm going, oh, let me see. I'm going to bring in my cognac or my brown again and finish that off and chain 1. So these are fairly tight. Turn my work. I'm going to work over the ends again, and we're just going to do a normal half double crochet all the way across. So I'm going to cinch those down and just make my way all the way to the end, and then I'll pick up with you. All right, and then in the last half double crochet, I'm going to color change, so I'm not going to finish it. I'm going to bring in my ivory or my cream yarn to finish that half double crochet and chain 1. Then I'm going to turn my work, and in this case I'm going to give this a knot to hold in place because I'm not going to work over it, so that's to be dealt with later, like so. And what we're going to do is chain 4. So we already did 1, 2, 3, 4. This counts as a double crochet. We're going to skip 3, 1, 2, 3. Into the 4th, we're going to do a V-stitch. So that's a double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet into the same stitch to create a V, like so. Then we are going to chain 1, and this will be the repeat pattern. You skip 3 and V-stitch into the 4th. So like so, and then chain 1. Then you'll skip 3 again, into the 4th, do a V-stitch, like so, chain 1. And you're going to continue that all the way down, and I'll pick up with you towards the end. You should end up with either 4 remaining or 2 remaining. All right, here I am at the end. I have my V-stitch, chain 1, and we do have 4 stitches at the end. So at the end, you're going to do a total of 2 chains. So add another chain there. You're skipping 3 and double crocheting into the last one. Now I'm going to color change, so I'm not going to fully do that double crochet. I'm going to bring in my cognac color or my brown color and finish that up and chain 1. Make sure that's nice and secure, and I'm going to work over the tails. Where'd the brown one go? Here. And so from here, at the edges, you're going to do half double crochet 3 times into the first chain, and then in all the following chains except for the last one, in the V chain, you're going to half double crochet 2. In the chain between the V stitches, you're going to half double crochet 2. So basically for each chain, you're going to half double crochet twice. 1, 2, between V stitches, 1, 2. And just go ahead and do that all the way to the end. So here we are at the end. We just have the last chain to go, and you're going to half double crochet 3 times into that one. And on the last and third, one, we're going to do a color change. So we want to swap to green. Let me see if I can find it here. Oops. Like so. Turn your work. And now from here, you see how it's building up, and this is going to be a repeat section. So starting here at row 3, the green half double crochet, up to the one we just did, the cognac or brown half double crochet. Sorry if did I say double crochet? Half double crochet up to here. So 3, 2, 3 to 8 is the repeat section that you can keep going until you're ready to split your panels. So when you want to start the front and back panels to make room for the armholes, and when you're ready to do that, you want to end on row 5 here. So you want to end after doing the last green row here. So you can keep repeating the entire section, but you need to end there for when we're going to make this panel split. I hope that makes sense. So I'm going to let you do that, whatever length you want it to go. And don't worry about the apples. We are going to insert those in at the end, or pumpkins, or whatever you're doing. But for now, do the repeat sections and your repeats on row 5, and then I'll pick up with you. So just go ahead and start to repeat. So here I'm doing a green half double crochet row. All right, so I've worked up. I just had to do the 3 extra rows. I didn't do a full repeat on this for myself, but you can of course do a repeat and then get up to what was it? Your row 5 for the half double crochet on the green. And when you are ready to split your panels, you're going to fold, you're going to set it flat and fold it so that your opening comes to the front, and it's going to differ a bit depending on how many 20s you did. So what you're going to notice is on this one, you see here I have the window gap, so I have the 6 half double crochets, which that works out really nicely. But if you look at a size down that I did before, I'm sorry, it's already finished, so I can't show it properly, but the split occurred on the sides was the 4 treble crochet. So if you have this, if on the sides you have 4 treble crochet, so look like this, then you're going to mark the 2 on the sides of it. So you want 6 stitches on the side. So you would put one next to the half double crochets that go into the 4 trebles. But in this case, so like in here, they were on either side, like so, if that makes sense. Sorry, there's also a single crochet trim, making it difficult to see. But I will show you how I pin them. So in this case, we're just doing the one on either side of the 6 double crochet, paying attention to which ones. So you just want to make sure it is in the half double crochets that are within the chain, so not the ones that are going into the treble crochets. All right, so I got one marked and then my other marked. And so if I was marking out the 4, so here this one's already marked on the one on the side of the treble crochets, I would see where that one enters treble crochet, and I would mark the one right next to it. But in this case, we're just marking the 6 that are creating the window. And I'm going to do that for my other side as well. So go ahead and mark them. Okay, now that you have your armholes marked, we're going to pick up where we have our active yarn. And I'm going to go back and do a color change on that last half double crochet. And we're switching to cognac. Basically, we're going to repeat this section, but we're going to decrease near the armhole. So let me find my yarn. Okay, going to color change, chain 1. I'm going to turn my work, working over my ends. I'm going to simply half double crochet until I reach 2 before the marked stitch. So before, so not the marked stitch itself, but the 2 before. So I don't want those done yet. So just half double crochet, whoops, grabbing too much yarn, half double crochet until you reach that point. All right, here you see I have 2 left, and I'm simply going to half double crochet 2 together. So you start your half double crochet, but before you yarn over and pull through, you yarn over, hook through the next one, pull through. So you will have 5 loops on your hook, yarn over, and pull through all 5. And actually, for that last one, we're doing a color change, so don't pull with this color, but rather our cream or ivory color, or whatever you're using in place of it. This one has a knot. I'm going to get rid of that. So I'm going to color change, do a tight chain to secure it, and I'm going to turn our work, and I'm going to, I wish I made that a little longer. I'm going to knot it on this side, just to secure that. No, definitely made that too short. Okay. Now we're going to chain 5, 1, 2, and we're ignoring that tight chain I just did. Chain 5. We're going to skip 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Into the next one, we're going to do our V-stitch, like so, chain 1, and then the regular pattern of skip 3, V-stitch, oops, and then chain 1, skip 3, V-stitch, chain 1. And you're going to end with having either 3 or 4 left, and then I'll pick up with you at that point. All right, you see here I have 4 left. If you have the one where you mark it around the 4 treble crochets, you're likely going to have 3. So for this one, we're going to chain 2, skip 3, and double crochet into that last one. If you have 3, you're just going to chain 1, skip 2, and double crochet into the last one. It's pretty simple. We're going to color change on that final double crochet, and we're going to pick up our cognac again. So I'm going to cut it from the end here. Color change, chain 1, turn our work, and I'm going to work over the tails while I half double crochet 3 into this first one because we had that extra stitch. If you ended with the 3 and you just chained 1 and double crocheted into the end, you'll just half double crochet 2 into this point. And for the rest of the way, you're just going to half double crochet 2 into each chain. So for each V chain and for each chain in between the V stitches, you're going to half double crochet 2. So just do that all the way down. All right, at the last chain, which is this chain 5 we had, and I'm going to color change on my last half double crochet. So we're color changing to green. If I can find it. Here we go. Like so. On chain 1, turn our work. It's getting tangled. And then we're just going to have to go half double crochet all the way across. Nice and simple. All right, we've done that half double crochet row all the way across, and now we're going to mark another section. So working from the armhole, so from the inside of the garment, not the side that's going to be the enclosure, you're going to count 13 stitches. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13. Mark that 13th stitch from the armhole, like so. Nice and simple. And I'm going to cut this green. I'm going to leave a decent tail so it doesn't unravel on me. And then I'm going to pick up, working towards the armhole. I'm going to pick up my yarn in the marked stitch, in the marked stitch, not next to it, but in it. And I'm going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, like so. Now we're going to treble crochet into this marked stitch, like so, and then into the next stitch. We're going to do another treble crochet, like so. And you're going to chain 6. Get ready your next treble crochet and skip 6. 2, 4, 6, and work into the next 5 stitches as treble crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now you'll note because my first version, which is a size smaller than this, and so also size larger than this, another 20 chains at the beginning, would have lined it up more along here. Or yes, I think so, or here, wherever it was. But you see the window is now going to be a little offset. And I'm sorry if that annoys you, but I think it looks better than the strap portion looking blank. I think it's better to have the apples go throughout. So it's offsetting it, but it works. So you have that. You're going to chain 1, turn your work, and half double crochet across. And by doing that, we're half double crocheting into the treble crochets. So this would be 5 stitches, and then 6 half double crochets into the chain. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then into the last 2 treble crochets. 1, 2. So there you are. We've made it a little window now. And then the next row, we're going to color change on this one. And so basically, we're going back to the repeat pattern. In this case, it's just much smaller. So you're going to change color, chain 1, turn your work, and half double crochet across. All right, I'm going to color change on the last half double crochet right here. We're switching to our ivory / cream. Chain 1, tighten it up. I'm going to turn our work. We are going to chain 3, 1, 2. I'm going to give it an extra 3 and consider that initial one just as a cinching down. I'm going to knot those colors together, and then this is counting as our double crochet. We're skipping 2, V-stitch into the next one, chain 1, skip 3, and then we're going to repeat that. V-stitch, chain 1, skip 3, V-stitch, and we're not going to chain 1, but simply skip 1 and double crochet into that last one, and then we're going to need to color change back to our cognac or brown color. Okay, color change, chain 1, turn our work. We have to crochet once into this section here, and then we're just going to half double crochet twice into each of the chains after, and should end in the last chain space over here. So just half double crochet, 2 into each chain. That's the V chains and the chains between the V chains. Okay, I'm going to cut this at this point. Okay, and on the last half double crochet over here, I'm going to change color to green, chain 1, turn our work, and half double crochet across. Okay, we've half double crocheted all the way across. We are going to chain 4, turn our work. Let's see, I'll turn it this way. Then we're going to treble crochet into the first 2 stitches. So you see how that lines up with the row before. Chain 6. Yes. And then skip 6, 2, 4, 6, and work into the last 5 stitches. All right, and then this will be your repeat section. So you're going to work, you're going to pick up here at the half double crochet at the top of the window again, and then work in the repeat section until it reaches your shoulder. And you just want to end on any of the half double crochet rows. So it could be the green row or the cognac row. It can be either of these. So you have about 4 options to end on. It doesn't really matter. Just make sure when you repeat it for your other panel that it's matches up the same way. So go ahead and repeat that until it reaches your shoulder. All right, so I think I have worked up the panel as high as I want it. I'm thinking I'm going to stop at the half double crochet point here. I'm also going to leave that up to adjustment. Once we see the back, once I try it on, see if it fits okay, I can always add on. But for now, I'm pretty happy with that. And what you're going to do for the other panel is simply you're going to pick up at the edge here, just like you did, and then start working starting at this row again, up to the armhole point, and repeat the whole process. So since you're starting from the other opposing side, it will work up the same way. So since we've already done that, I'm going to go over the back panel now. So I don't think it makes much of a difference, but I'm going to work on the I think I'm considering the right side. And I'm going to pick up in the stitch next to the marked stitch, all right? And I'm going to join it with the cognac color. So I'm joining it there. I'm going to chain 1, and let me bring you down now that we know where we're at. And we're going to half double crochet 2 together. So in that initial one that we just joined into, and then the next, I'm going to do a half crochet 2 together, half double crochet 2 together, and then simply half double crochet your way across until 2 before the marked stitch. So here I have the last 2 before the marked stitch. So I'm going to half double crochet 2 together in that, and I'm color changing, so I'm not going to fully finish that one. I'm going to bring in my ivory cream, finish that half double crochet 2 together. I'm going to knot this if I can, there, and then chain 3. Yeah, that's good. So turn my work. Have I chained 3? Chain 3. This is starting to pull off. I'm going to knot it one more time. There we go. I'm going to skip 1, V-stitch into the next stitch. Let's see if I can make this clear. Sorry. V-stitch into the next stitch. Chain 1, and then we're going to do our usual repeat of skip 3, V-stitch to the next stitch, chain 1, and so on. Skip 3, V-stitch, chain 1, skip 3, and so on. And you should end up with either 2 or 3 stitches left. So I'll pick up with you at the end, and we'll address that. All right, here I'm on my last V-stitch, and I have 3 of the stitches left. So regardless, if you have 2 or 3, you're going to skip until the last one. So you either skip 1 or you skip 2, and then you're going to double crochet into the last stitch, like so. And we're going to color change on that last one. So I'm going to bring in my cognac brown color, finish that double crochet, chain 1, turn my work. It's getting a little messy with so many panels building up now. And you're simply going to into the chains, so into the V chain first, half double crochet 2, then into the in-between chain, your half double crochet 2. And you're going to do that all the way across. It's nice and simple. Just go ahead and do that. And so working to my last V chain, I'm going to cut color change on this one. I've already cut the yarn. I'm going to color change to green. Oops. Catching a bit of the brown. There we go. Chain 1, turn our work, and we're simply going to half double crochet all the way across. So nice and simple. And I'll see you at the end. I keep forgetting that I'm not making it clear visually for you. I'm sorry, but it's just half double crochet, so nothing complicated. All right, I've done my half double crochet all the way across, and now here is going to be the important part for the back panel. It's a little confusing how to describe it in the pattern, but it's really simple. So you're basing the next row on how you marked your armhole. So if you marked the armhole like this with the 6 stitches that make up the apple window, this I will show you the one we're going to do with that. And then there's another version if you are marking 2 to the side of the 4 treble crochets. So if you were marked here and here, and this extended here, that's a different row, because unless it bothers you, I thought it would bother some people, so I decided I did need to make it match. So these windows keep going up in a consistent manner. Otherwise, it will offset it for this one, but not for the other version. So if you had a size smaller or larger than my current size that I'm working with, sorry, I don't know how large this would be. This would probably be like a medium. So it would set the apple here, but the other one, we would set it so that they are matched up. So anyway, that's the explanation and the why, and all you have to do is know where you marked your armhole, and you can simply look where your stitch markers or where, if you've already taken them out, if you've done your panels, what's still exposed from this section. So here we did the 6 in the window, and so for that one we're going to chain 4. I'm going to give myself a little more room. So chain 4, and then we're going to treble crochet into the first stitch, and then that's it, because then we're going to develop our window here. And if you were going to be doing the other one, you would do a total of 6 treble crochets, but here we're just doing 1 treble crochet. So then you're going to chain your 6, 1 2 3 4 5 6, 1 2 3 1 2 3, and into the 7th, and total of 4 stitches. You're going to do your treble crochets. I am not having good luck with that. 2 4 6 7. There we go. So 4 treble crochets, and then the usual repeat pattern. So you see how that window lines up fairly well with the one below it. Obviously, once this will be given a little more structure soon. But from here, you're just going to do the usual chaining 6, skipping 6, and then treble crocheting 4. So I've done that, doing my treble crochet 4, and you're going to continue on. And I will catch you at the end and show you the difference you'll see when you have either or. For I think this is row 5, if I'm not mistaken, in the written pattern. Anyway, I will see you at the end. If it were the you had the 4 treble crochet armhole, this should be 2 treble crochets. So that's all you need to note for that. And now we're going to chain 1, turn our work, half double crochet across, making sure to half double crochet 6 into the long chains. So into the first stitch here, then into the chains, and so forth. So you know the drill by now. All right, I'm going to color change at that last half double crochet, so working into that first or last stitch, however you want to think of it. We're going to color change to our cognac brown. Keep feeling very certain I keep pronouncing that incorrectly. Cognac? Cognac. Cognac? I'm not sure. All right, and then here we're just going to half double crochet across with our brown color. Nice and simple. At this point, you should be familiar with it, but this is setting up the repeat of reestablishing the pattern for the front and back. And the main points of concern are simply the window, rows, and the V-stitch rows. So yeah, for now, just half double crochet your way across. All right, I've come up onto the end. We're going to color change on this last stitch and bringing in our ivory cream. Okay, do the color change. I'm going to chain 3. I'm going to give this a knot. Okay, let's turn our work and try not to get tangled in it. Probably help to cut this one. All right, and then this is going to be a repeat of what we did earlier. We did our chain 3. We're going to skip 1, V-stitch into the next one, and then go into the pattern of chain 1, skip 3, V-stitch, chain 1, skip 3, V-stitch. And you should end with 2 stitches left, and you'll just double crochet into the last one. Right, I'm at the end. Now we'll color change to the cognac color. And while I do go over the repeats in the written pattern, I'm finding it's probably unnecessary for the video tutorial since you have a better visualization. So what you're going to do is be picking up from this point. So you're going to be working into the V stitches, V chains, in between V's, so on. Then you'll do your window sections as we've already talked about, and this section. So if I remember correctly, let's see, this is 5, 4, or 1, 2. So you'd start from 3 to 8, 9, 10. I think it's, oh, I could be wrong. It's in the written pattern, but essentially you're going to repeat this section here that we've done in the video. Sorry, I am getting winded and I feel like it would just really lengthen the video to do 2 more half double crochet rows just to say, okay, now repeat that. So you're going to repeat it up until the point, and you can see how it will match up with your front panel here. You want it to match up or lightly match up. Maybe you'll want the front panel to go a little further back so it can curve over your shoulder. That is up to you, but just make sure again it ends on one of the half double crochet rows. So I will let you do that, work up your back panel, replicate your other front, work up your back panel, replicate the front panel on this side, and then I will check in with you when we're ready to sew them together. All right, so that kind of took me the whole evening to add all my apples, so don't worry if it takes you a while, but they're all done, they're together, and so you see when it's folded up, this is our bodice folded up, and so I still need to go in and just sew the shoulder seams together, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. In this case, I have 2 different colors, so I'm just going to pick between them, sew them together with a yarn needle, or you can just use your hook. So go ahead and sew those together, and then we're going to work on just tidying and trimming it up. Alright, so I have my seams done here and here. So now you can, test on yourself, see how you like it. And what we're going to do now is be adding the trim and the button band. So to start simple, we're going to start with the armholes to tidy it up. And what I like to use this for, which is optional, is you can work over these loose ends that we knotted that weren't easily incorporated. Don't need this one. Or if you don't want to do that, you can work these in as best you can and then work on your trim. So let's see. I'm going to bring taking out all my stitch markers, double checking these look good. And so you can join arbitrarily anywhere, but I recommend joining in this green band where we started our armholes. So you can start at any point in here, and I'm going to be working over, most of them I trimmed of the apples, but I decided I would work over them for this. So you're going to join your yarn in any of these stitches and chain one, and then you're going to single crochet your way across these stitches. And I'm just working over the stem end here, like so. Okay, and as I reach here, I'm reaching the end of my stitches at the bottom, and I'm going to be working up and around the sides of the armholes. So you're going to kind of just gauge this as you go, and just make sure it's kept loose enough, but not where you get it wavy. So just pace it out as best you can. My general rule of thumb, and I'll sometimes adjust it if it's looking too much, is to single crochet 3 into double crochet spaces. So like this one, I would single crochet 3 into it, and then for the half double crochets, depending on how they look, I'll do a 1 or a 2. So I'll work kind of 2 up into this one. We're meeting another half double crochet point. I'm just placing 1 in there, it seems, and then 4 in the treble crochet rows. And so that's just my general rule of thumb, but you can just base it on how you like. You can also size up your hook a bit if you'd like. So you're just going to crochet all the way around. So I'll leave you to do that. And again, you can work over your ends here if you want, or tie them in before you start working on this. All right, I've worked myself all the way around. I slip stitched into my first stitch. I'm just going to secure this first so it doesn't come loose, and then I'll wrap it in more securely later. So, ooh, sorry about that. To give you a little look of how it looks. Now you'll notice it's a little bumpy, but if you're adding the sleeve, that is fine. If you like this way and you want it sleeveless, I would recommend going in with 1 more row. Maybe if you wanted to pull one of the other colors, like if the cognac was along here, I think that would look very nice. But for these purposes, just tidy everything up, and then it's going to attach for the sleeve. This is fine. So you're going to go ahead and do that on the other one as well. Okay, you can see we now have 2 edges that are nice and tidy. And so again, you can add another row if you want, if you're going to use this more as like a vest coat sort of thing, or just leave it as is, and we're going to attach sleeves to it to make it a cardigan. But this tutorial is just for the base bodice as it is in the pattern. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to be working from this corner, the bottom corner, bottom left corner of your bodice. We're going to be working up the panel side, around the entire neckline, and then down the panel side to match up on the opposite end. And so this is pretty straightforward. You'll join your yarn of choice. I'm doing green trim on both sides. You can choose your trim color. So I'm going to join and chain 1, and then again you're roughly going to crochet along the front panel. And just the only thing to note is you're going to want both these sides of the panel to have about the same number of stitches, and the rest of it you're just going to feel out so that you're not tightening it or having too many paste stitches. And you can follow similarly like the guidelines I roughly gave before for the armholes. So you're just going to go ahead and work around in single crochet, and then I'll pick up with you once we reach the other edge. Something I neglected to mention is when you're meeting these turning corners for the front panels, again, this is just a guideline for what I like to do. I like to single crochet 3 into that corner to give it a rounded out square corner. You can round it more tightly if you want, or give it a more distinct edge if you would like, but that is up to you. And also, again, this is an opportunity to just work over all of your loose ends that you may still have, so it just limits more weaving in. But yeah, so continue on with your single crocheting around the entire panel and neckline. Alright, I have worked my way all the way across to the edge. Here you may notice I just did a single crochet 2 together, just kind of into the extra corner almost, because I thought it was a little off, but it's essentially functioning same as the regular single crochets. I made sure my number of stitches matched the other side. And what you're going to do now is turn your work, chain 1, oh, sorry, it's getting twisted, and you're just going to single crochet up the panel. So you're just going to, so let me just keep this flat, it wants to keep falling off the desk. You're just going to single crochet up to the corner point and not into your neckline. You're going to chain 1 and then work 1 more row down in single crochet. So go ahead and do that. This is going to be the button side, and if you are finding you need more, you think you'll need more to enclose your bust, you can make this longer if you want a wider button band, that's fine. Just remember the other side is also going to have at least match over 2 single crochets and then the button band to go over it. So just go ahead and do 2 rows of single crochet up and down the panel. Okay, you've done that. You're going to snip off the yarn and just weave in your end, and this is going to be just that button band. So we're done on one side, and then we're going to pick up on the other side to create the buttonholes. Alright, I will finish this later. So we're going to turn the bodice around and pick up the other panel. It doesn't matter too much which side you work on. I just tend to like to start from the front. Oh no, you know what? We're going to start on the wrong side since this already has a single crochet layer. We're going to pick up into the corner. I tend to do in that second single crochet I did into the corner, and I match it to the other side I did. You're going to join it, chain 1, and then you're just going to single crochet down the panel. This is nice and easy, and then we'll do button holes on the next row. Alright, and now at this point I've folded it over so we can get a look at our bodice, and you're going to choose your buttons. I think I originally had intended these smaller ones for it, so very under scale, and I'm using them on my other example. But I think with this apple theme, we're going to go a little more homemade, you know, apple pie look, and use these brown buttons to pull in from the cream. So once you've selected your buttons, we're going to use them to mark out our buttonholes. Okay, so it doesn't matter on which side you mark these out, preferably the one you're going to be working next. So we worked down from the top, doing a single crochet row, and now we're going to place our buttons where we want them. Since these are bigger, I don't need too many, so I think, but you do want one up here, so let me see, maybe about like that, I think. look good. So what we're going to do, you're going to take some stitch markers. I got some here. And then you're going to pull it to the side to see how many stitches widthwise it is. It's okay if it's a little smaller, that would be a little preferable. So this is going to be about 3 stitches. The other buttons were about 2. So I'm going to use the stitch marker to mark 3 stitches. You can see that. So same thing for this one. You see where you want it placed, and you see how your 3 stitches that you want marked for it. So this one will go about these 3. I'm going to slip in my stitch marker, and then last one near the bottom we'll do these 3, and you want them roughly, evenly paced out. You can make sure that you have even numbers in between. I'm going to check that. If it's one off, I think that's forgivable. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. Perfect. So they're very symmetrical. So what we're going to do, we're going to chain 1, and then you're going to single crochet up until you meet the marked stitch. So I got 1, 2, 3, and then there are the 3 marked stitches. And so I'm going to chain 3 to match those stitches, skip the marked stitches, and then single crochet into the unmarked stitches. So we're going to single crochet all the way here until we meet the next marked stitch. Alright, now I'm here, so I'm going to chain 3 to match my marked stitches. So if you have 2, you would chain 2, however you have marked. Yes, so I'm skipping the 3 and then single crocheting into the unmarked stitches, like so. Okay, meeting my last marked stitches, I'm going to chain 3 and single crochet, and I just have 1 stitch left here. And I think what I might do I want to do that? No, I think that's all right. So I'm going to chain 1, turn to work, and for our last row we are going to single crochet across, single crocheting into the chain the number of chains. So in this case we have 3, so I'm going to single crochet 3 into the chain space, and then single crochet regularly into all the other stitches, like so. Alright, so I'm going to turn it right side towards me, and then you're going to just want to double check that taking your buttons, push them through, see that they do go through, and it's good if they have a little bit of resistance. So these are perfect, and you can go back and adjust that if you want them to be a little tighter, or if you want to try to make your single crochets into your chain tighter, that can help as well. And the last thing you're going to do, making sure that your work is faced right side up, so the nice side of the apples, not the side that has all the little knots and things. You're going to loosely, so you don't tighten up anything, you're going to loosely slip stitch up the panels and around the neckline again, just to give it an extra polish. This isn't necessary, but I find it looks good and gives a little more structure to the bodice. So I just give a nice loose slip stitch all the way around with the right side facing me. So now that I've finished slip stitching all the way around, I'll do the loose end later. Just going to secure it for now. So let's see how we're looking. And then that is it for the crochet portion of this bodice for the cottage apple cardigan. So you see this will overlap. We can take the stitch markers out now, and you can optionally line it if you want to secure it a little more and you don't want to see the back end of the work. This one turned out pretty neat, so I'm actually might be okay without lining this one. And then on the posing side where we don't have the buttonholes, but it's just a plain band, you're going to want to just sew on your buttons and make sure they line up where the buttonholes are. So like about so. You can even mark it out with stitch markers if you want. Let's see, this one's really close to the top. I did want that to be quite cinched. So yeah, so let's see, do I want to, I think I'm going to do this kind of maroonish red. It was kind of the closest red I had to this. Everything else I have is really bright in color.